Copier copying, take 3.
Alright, let's check the fuser and get that cleaned up. The fuser's on the right side of the machine. You can open up the duplex unit, and then you also have to open up this number 1 labeled door. Now you don't need to take the duplex unit off to do this. You do have access to the fuser itself just by opening up the door. In my case, I've actually taken it off for easier access. But the fuser is this unit right here. It's held on by 2 screws. They are silver and flat, one on the lower right hand side and then again on the lower left hand side. I've already loosened this, so I'm just going to pull this out. Alright, once we have that out, I'm going to open up this top little door, and that gives us access to view a little bit of the rollers, but most importantly, these picker fingers. And these picker fingers, what they do is they lift the paper off the roller to then feed it through the rest of the system. And as you can see, at the very end, you get some gunk that's been built up. And more than likely, this isn't really affecting the ability of the fuser to do its job, but when I pull these out, it's such a quick and easy process to clean these. I just do it all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Q-tip again, and I'm just going to gently rub the ends of these just to kind of get that junk off, and just go right around the outside. If there's anything underneath, it's kind of hard to get the underside of them, but as long as you get these edges, it usually cleans off the rest of it as well. Be careful in these picker fingers. You don't want to be too rough though. Just make sure all that junk gets off of there. And then what I like to do, you can see that all that junk is going down in the crevice between the rollers. We don't want that to happen, so I'm going to take my canned air or my air compressor and just blow all that stuff out before I roll the rollers forward. The next thing I'm going to do is flip the fuser over, and it gives me a better indication of the belt and how well it's holding up. Now there's actually 2 belts. There's the orange belt and the black belt. And what you can do is on the side here, these gears, if you just roll them forward slowly, because they do turn fast, I like to just roll them a full rotation and just check out to make sure that there's no debris, no tears, no dust. And again, I can take my air compressor and just blow this out as much as I can. And as we can see, this roller looks pretty good. There's no major issues. I don't see any tears. But another thing you want to look at is this metal plate right here. Sometimes you can see a buildup of toner and little dust there as well. These are going to be a little bit more difficult to remove than what we saw on the picker fingers. But again, you can use a Q-tip to just kind of rub these to get some of the loose stuff off. But if you have a very big buildup, my recommendation is actually to use a razor blade and very carefully just kind of scrape this edge, making sure not to let the point of the razor blade get too far out from the edge, because you will tear these rollers and that's going to be very bad for you. But you can scrape that stuff off to make sure it's a nice clean edge all the way across. And you can see I have a little bit on this side as well. So I'm going to clean all that up before I put it back in, make sure the whole system is clean and free of all that dust and debris.